Sky Squad, we are back in the building, baby. We back in the building. And right off the bat, let me apologize to y'all for being late. Okay. I did the Lion lunch hour at Good Day DC. So it took me a bit of a it took me a minute to get out of the traffic and get back home. So again, I do apologize. I hate to leave y'all waiting like that. So please, please, please forgive me for that because your boy is just out here trying to do a little move and a little shake and a little shimmy. Okay. So again, my apologies. I that really I really try my hardest to be as on time as possible, but it doesn't always work out that way. So please forgive me. Um, Also, too, I know that a lot of you guys have been um DMing me, texting me about the Monique situation. I saw this pop off yesterday on social media. I actually text her to let her know what I saw, to give her an opportunity to do whatever she was going to do. I just have to be honest with you guys. In these situations, I hate having to go to any of my friends who work in the entertainment industry to tell them that, hey, there's a story out there about you. uh what you about to do about this? Okay. In my opinion, it was better from my perspective to let her know that the story was out there and to give her an opportunity to respond to it. And so she did text me today. She is going to go live at 7:30 with Chris, and then you guys can get the story there, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay. But I felt like in my opinion, I'm like, let me let you handle this because uh that's all I could do. This is the third time in the past, I would say 3 weeks, that I've had a similar instance to this where I've had to contact someone about something that was out there. And every time that I have to do it, I agonize about it because I don't like having to do that. But I have to do it because I feel like it's the right thing to do. Um, I like to consider myself someone who has studied journalism, um, going to the source strictly. Like if I have the means to reach out to them, I'm gonna text her, I'm gonna call her, and I'm gonna say, "Girl, this is out there. What you gonna do about it?" So at that point, I left it up to her. So we will discuss that more after she and Chris go live today. Okay. Now, with that being said, many of you guys here are ready to talk Potomac. Okay. So let's get into it. For me, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. This was literally the second supersized episode in a row. Okay. We are on episode 2, and each episode thus far has been action packed. And I am going to give this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give this thing a 10. Okay. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Okay. We're going to put 10 on 10. Okay. For this here episode number 2. Out the gate, we 2 episodes in. We got enough content to fill in an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. And I see all of you guys felt the same way as well. There were so many moments, and I have like pages and pages and pages of notes. There were so many notes that I took last night that I did not even get a chance to watch Married to Medicine because my mind was just so drained that I was like, I can't even comprehend trying to review another show. So when I get done with this, I'll go watch Married to Medicine and then do my recap for that. Okay. Just to give you guys uh, the the real tea about how I viewed last night. Okay. I see some of you guys like the jacket. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. Um, so let's get started with the episode. Robin gave it a 20. Okay. Robin gave it a 20. All right. Um, this some who do you think was the GOAT last night? Was it Robin or was it Candiace? Let me know because I see y'all coming into the chat, and some of y'all are like, it was Robin for me. Some of y'all is like, it was Candiace for me. Um, I'm torn on this one because I felt like Robin did some things that I felt like she needed to do last night. And I appreciated her for being honest on some matters and going against the grain of what Giselle has to say. I really did enjoy seeing, and we've needed to see this aspect of Robin, and maybe it existed all along, but we just weren't privy to it on the phone. Okay, I mean not on the phone, on the screen, but they showed it to us last night. Simply Shamar says, I was with Candiace until that cheap shot at the end. Yeah, I kind of felt like she didn't really need to go at. We're gonna talk about what she said in a bit. I mean, that bothered me a little bit too, because I kind of felt like, nah, that ain't really okay. But we'll talk about that. So we start the episode off. We are still at the spring fling that the Grand Dame has thrown. And let me know in the chatterization, who is the true Grand Dame of Potomac? Is it Sharice or is it Karen? That was the topic of conversation at one of the BravoCon panels. Is Sharice the Grand Dame of Potomac or is it Karen? Chime down in the chat. So Mia is going off on Giselle about Giselle questioning her about the whole cancer issue. Jacqueline, her good Judy, steps into, well, her then good Judy stepped in to defend her. And Robin feels a type of way because she felt like Mia left the cancer situation on social media open-ended. Like we never really got a follow-up from Mia as to what transpired beyond that post. And I don't know, at least at that point in time. And I said it last week, and I'm gonna say it again just to kind of reiterate. For those of you guys who have maybe had a relative or a close family member go through something like breast cancer, the discovery process for going through that is tedious. It's tedious, it's scary, it is sometimes it can be weeks on weeks between testing. And so I feel like for Robin to at this point in time say, well, you left it open ended, um, it's her health. And so I kind of feel like you show people a little bit of grace when it comes to that. And you let people do what they do. If the real concern was that she was faking cancer, um, just like the Brooks situation on the Real Housewives of Orange County, at a certain point in time, that would all come out in the wash. You can question maybe her posting about it on social media. Would you have done it? Probably not. But no one owes you an explanation, Robin, about what they go through with their health. And I only say this, I can only speak from my own experience of having a very, very close family member go through this last year, and not saying, I didn't say nothing about it to just but a few people And it was very scary. It was very scary. Um, and I said it last week, when you're going through that, you don't even want to say the C word. You know what I'm saying? Because you are afraid if you say it, then if you say it, you might put it on them. And so for a long time, I just couldn't even say the words. Um, so anyway, that just takes me back to a space of like, man, it's kind of effed up that they're doing that to her, especially the way they did it to her in a group like that, with Giselle coming to her and saying, "So is this what cancer looks like?" I thought that was kind of heartless, but I mean, that's just me. And again, I say it, I talk about this only from my own experience. Um, and you just don't play with people with stuff like that. Um, so let me try to pick the energy back up, because that conversation, it's that's difficult for me. I don't know what Mia's situation is per se, but I just didn't appreciate all that. So anyway, Miss Chocolate Diva says episode was a 10. I was proud of Robin. Candiace is a beast. I was okay with her comment. Bye. Thank you, boo. I appreciate your comment and your super chat. So Candice, Wendy, and Ascala wander over into the conversation, which is what you're supposed to do when you see some stuff going down. You see all the cameras over there. You need to hop your butt on over there and find out what's going on. Okay. And Candice also thinks that there was another way to ask Mia about this situation, but and Wendy wants to know what's going on too. And then Karen reiterates that Giselle is questioning Mia about her post. So at this point in time, Robin, the bodyguard, pipes up, "Everybody not gonna act like it was just Robin and Giselle that thought it was something weird about her post." That may be true, Robin, but not everybody came at the girl crazy. Like, is this what cancer looks like? You don't have, I mean, and I understand we're gonna have a conversation about how she did it, her chastising Giselle about how she did it later. But I just felt like there's a way you can broach a serious conversation like that and not do it like try to do it in such a scandalous way. But that's Giselle. Anyway, um, she points out Ashley says something, Karen says something, Candice says something. So Jacqueline, Mia's good Judy, jumps in and says, "Well, this is real life for her." And Wendy's like, "Hey, you on the end? Who are you? I don't know you. What is your name? Who are you in this equation?" Okay, and so they tell her who she is or whatever. Robin is saying it's a cliffhanger because we still don't know. And Robin, it ain't your business to really know all the intimate details of what she want to share, because I just feel like that's not how it works. And if it were you, you didn't even want people to know about your own personal situations, and that was dealing with finances back seasons ago when Ashley was spilling your tea. So I just felt like a little bit of grace in that situation would have been a better look. Okay. So Jacqueline then lets her know that it's a cliffhanger because she still don't know. Okay. Because as again, anybody who knows what this thing is like knows that you can have a significant waiting period time before you really get test results back and are able to schedule doctor's visits and stuff like that. It's not, you would think that it would be a quicker process, and we would hope that it would be a quicker process, but it's not that fast. And that's the scary part about it, because you kind of just wonder, like, is something growing and you still got to wait a couple of more weeks before you can get your next appointment or get your biopsy results or have further testing, have another surgery. It's complex, man. It's really complex, and it's not easy. Anyway, so in ambush Charisse to break up the scene. Giselle wants to know if Karen and Sharice are good, knowing good and well that they are not. Okay. Um, Karen, we learned, did not invite Sharice, but Robin did. And Robin is like, well, I can't believe that Karen might be upset about the rumors that Sharice was spreading about her all those years ago about her cheating on Ray with allegedly with a man that's got some blue eyes. Clearly, she shouldn't be mad about that still. For whatever reason, I don't understand what Robin's it always feels to me like Robin got some type of thing for Karen. And I don't really understand where it comes from because even like when I was watching their panel on BravoCon from somebody else's live, she was kind of coming at Karen in a way and talking about how she was ready to unload a vault on Karen. But the thing about Robin is like, girl, I mean, just as soon as you would think that you could unload a vault on Karen, don't you think Karen could probably might, I don't know, unload a vault on you? So to me, I feel like just let it go. Like, what if, I mean, I don't understand. I don't know what the beef is with the two of them, but it just seems like it's something deeper. I don't know. Anyway, in walks. Oh, so then Karen checks in on Mia separately, and Mia feels says she was chosen by God for this journey to do this work. Okay, the Lord. In walks Katie with her hair looking like mine, okay, and her eyes as green as the forest, as green as a deep blue green sea, as green as the color jade, as green as envy, greener than the green-eyed bandits. Here is Katie in all of her glory, baby. And listen, Ray peeping around corners trying to get a gander at that good Katie and her micro mini, you know what I'm saying? And so, Giselle has to take that opportunity. Ray, your crush is here. Come get it. Come and get it while it's hot. And there goes Katie popping that booty up on Ray and popping his booty. And I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Now, we had already seen these posts on social media of Katie coming in, dropping it like it's hot, okay? Popping it, doing the doggone thing all over that party like a hurricane, okay? Anyway, Karen has to go try to break that up. And we see Sharice off in the corner trying to, butter Karen up. Hey, girl, let's get together. Knowing good and well Karen don't like you for whatever reason, okay? Candiace and Ashley end up having a nice little moment, and Wendy is like, yes, I'm into this. But Candiace can't really stay because she got to go to the Grammys, okay? Candiace got to head on out to the Grammys. She doing the big things, and she don't have time for this, okay? So Karen makes a speech. Now, what this speech was about, I don't know, okay? But what I do know is that she says the Grand Dame is back. Where has she been? I don't know. But the woman is back, okay? She is back and in full effect. So we see in a second Chris hug Giselle as Candiace is preparing to leave, and we realize this is the episode that things are about to go down. Okay. So we see the next scene that we see is Karen. I guess she's getting a follow-up from a breast augmentation. I don't know what she got done. A little lift, a little nip, a little tuck, a little, suction. I don't know. She got something done that looked great or whatever. But Ray ain't, Ray is worried about the message that is sending to Raven, like, because he don't want Raven thinking she need to go and get her hers done or whatever like that. And I don't have much else to say about this topic because Y'all know my stance is if you want something done in your life and you don't like it, you better change it. Okay. If you got the coin and you got the means, go on ahead, get them new teeth, get that new nose, get them new eyeballs, get them new calf muscles, get that 360 lipo. If you want 5 BBLs, go and get it. I do not care. I am the go and get it cheerleading squad, okay? Because at the end of the day, the only person that can make you happy is you, okay? Sweet Cherry, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate you. All right. So moving on, Candiace is at home with her sister, who is living with her while she's having her home built. And so they talk about, Candiace freezing her eggs, and she wants to be expecting by the end of this year. I'm assuming 2022. But she's scared, and she's also trying to adjust to Chris working all the time, because he's working at the View, the rooftop, something or other, and they have a little less quality time because of his schedule. All right. So Ashley's home with the kids. Her friend Deborah stops by with her baby, and they chat about Michael, who we learn is still living in the condo, but they staying in separate bedrooms. Now, she's trying to figure out if Michael is, the girl, Deborah is trying to figure out if Michael is trying to woo her back. So Ashley, who I'm not sure if this is going to lead to something, but apparently Ashley is trying not to drink. Ashley, I feel you. Every time I go out, I say I'm not drinking. But there I go. Okay, there I go back at it. Okay, hitting the bottle, not like that, but just like a little sippy sip. And I'm not sure if that's gonna come up at some point in time later, but I feel like they leading us somewhere with her and this drinking and not drinking at some point in time story. I thought it was nice to see both Candiace and Ashley have someone else to interact with outside of the group of girls that we typically see them with. So it was nice to see her, Candiace's sister. It was nice to see Miss Deborah. Okay. We learned that Ashley is house hunting. Ashley thinks that Michael will start dating immediately because Michael got the urges allegedly. I don't know. All right. But she ain't really trying to do too much. But she is gonna have a high heels class to do some dancing because them TikToks been helping get her through. Okay. So Robin and Gizelle meet for coffee. Okay, it's coffee talk. And this is where things get really juicy. All right. Robin has a bone to pick with Gizelle because Gizelle told everybody last week, all of America, that Robin is the only name on their house. And we talked about this last week about how that was kind of like, why would you do that to your friend? Okay. And so Gizelle admits, oh yeah, girl, I effed up. He. And in the confessional, Robin tells us that Juan's name is not on the house because the interest rate would have been higher because his credit is still toe up because of the foreclosure. And that's a real life situation right there. And I think in that situation, you could either look down on Robin for being that honest about it, or you can look at her as someone who is being transparent on reality TV. I'm going to choose to look at it in the latter and just really kind of applaud that level of transparency because how many of us have dealt with bad credit before in our lives and had to recover from it? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. And when I say that, I can say with 100% certain, without a shadow of a doubt, when I went through my situation, my credit was toe up from the flow up. Okay. toe down from the flow down. All right. So, oftentimes when we are able to be transparent about the things that we go through, it helps somebody else to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going through that situation right now myself. You know what I'm saying? So I have to applaud her for that because it adds an element of realism to her story and it helps make Robin a bit more relatable than some other housewives. Um Anyway, Giselle then hems and haws about how she actually even got on that subject. And it was because they were doubting Ashley about saying that she's getting a house with Michael, which we will find out why in a bit. But Robin hates that they're doubting their friends, just like she feels like she hates that they were doubting Mia's cancer. And in my mind, I'm like, did y'all even ask if the girl was okay? Like, did y'all even say that to the girl? Or did y'all just launch into a tirade of questions about her social media posts versus saying, hey, girl, are you feeling all right? Like, can I check in on you? Do you need something? You know what I'm saying? It was just like, bam. Okay. So then Robin chastises Giselle's delivery to Mia. So Giselle texts her, girl, I have been told by Robin to apologize because my delivery to you was horrible. Okay. I should not have spoken to you about potential cancer that way that day. Okay. All right. Now, apparently, there was also a phone call as well. All right. Simply Shamar says, I love when Robin is being real. I wish he was always this independent minded and didn't live in that presidential suite in Giselle's behind. Now, y'all talk about a way with words. Shamar. I mean, now that, okay, my friend, was a read. All right. So, this is when we get into Robin hung out with Ashley, and we get a flashback because they were looking for wallpaper for Ashley's new house with Michael. And then Ashley tells Robin that she got a DM from Chris Bassett at 2:42 in the AM. Okay. And he says to her, this was the night of the Spring Fling event. He says, when Candiace was in, I guess Candiace had maybe gone off to the Grammys. She gets a text message at 2:42 a.m. from it's not a text message, it's a DM, excuse me, a response to her Instagram story that says you should have came to the W. And she wants to know, well, who was you with that you was up at 2:42? So Robin lets her know that, girl, he's the general manager of the spot that he was inviting you to. And Ashley's issue is that she knew that Candiace wasn't there. And so Robin says she wouldn't feel no types of ways about it, but Ashley feels like she should tell Candiace. So when I'm looking at Ashley in this situation, do I think that Ashley was any worse or any better than Giselle? I think that Ashley, I don't know if she was trying to make it a TV moment, but I do think if you feel unsure about an interaction between you and your friend's spouse, then have a conversation with your friend about it. Period. Because Ashley's instance was so recent to me, I can give her a little bit of a pass for this because if there's a question, she comes up with a very good excuse when she talks to Candiace. If you're ever going through Chris's phone and you saw my name in that DM, you know that I've already told you about it. Okay. Now, having private conversations with your spouse's friends, is that okay for you? Okay? Is that okay for you? Would it be okay for your spouse to DM your friends? Would you be okay with it? So some of you guys are saying no. And I do feel like I understand why she would tell Candiace, but I can also see telling someone without making it an issue. Okay. And you also have to be very careful when you are the spouse and you have any interactions with your spouse's friends, because you just never know how people are going to take it, right? Do I think that Chris had any ill intentions? No, I don't. But it really is in the perception of the person receiving the message. All right? Now, so when telling Gizelle this story, Gizelle then says, well, I too have received the DMs from Chris. Okay. And so Robin is like, okay, so let's look at the semantics. Like, Chris is just being friendly and he would do anything for all of us. Like, that's got to be opposed, okay? It's got to be stated. Ashley, we see in her confessional, says that it feels off to her. But in real time in the conversation, after Gizelle admits that she gets DMs from Chris, it's not comfortable for her, but she lets it ride. So Robin wants to know, well, why do y'all think it's overstepping a boundary? Okay. So Gizelle then further goes on to list an example of what he did to her after last year's reunion. You know, months ago, okay? Months ago. The difference between Ashley and Gizelle is that at least Ashley is dealing with this at least in closer to what appears to be real time. Gizelle's issue is from months ago, from a point in time where she should have already said something to me. If you really felt like that, you should have said it then. Because if it was a real issue, we gonna deal with real issues in real time, right? Or did you think, let me produce this moment? Let me utilize this, okay? And so what she does is she tells a story about he was mad about the line of questioning for Candiace at the reunion. So she says, are you mad or something like that? He says, I'll talk to you later. Candiace is standing right there. They're still on the reunion stage. So then what we don't see that she tells us is that he allegedly paid a visit to her dressing room, and she thought her glam team was going to be there, but her glam team was not there. And so she literally says nothing happened. But it was late, and he was complaining allegedly about Candiace. And she knew it wasn't good for him, okay? And Robin says, well, he was probably drunk because he was drinking. And then Gizelle says, yes, he was drunk, and that makes it worse for me. She says, I don't want to be in a closed room with a married man. I don't want to even put out the optics of cheating. He made her so uncomfortable, she alleges, that she ends up telling Robin afterwards. And she says, Robin said, oh, Gizelle, whatever. Okay. So Robin knew about this as well. Now, Robin in her confessional reflects on this and says, Chris didn't do anything inappropriate. He didn't touch her. He just asked her to have a private conversation, and he sees nothing wrong. Gizelle says, well, many a married man have tried me, and he was trying to see if I was with it. Okay. Now, this is where the story gets tainted, okay? Because we have gone from the facts of what happened to now her perception that he was trying to see if she was with it, okay? And then Robin is like, well, you said he was complaining about Candiace. Gizelle says he was complaining about his wife. He was letting me know he was unhappy. What was I supposed to do? Say, well, I can make you happy? Okay. And then she calls him a sneaky link. Yes, she does. She calls him a sneaky link. First of all, you would have had to had the sneaky link in order for you to call him a sneaky link, right? In my opinion, I'm only calling you a sneaky link if I'm sneakily linking with you, okay? So right there, you're already, I mean, you're alleging something that hasn't happened, okay? Now, the other thing about this is, as you watch this scene, and I implore you to go watch this scene back, you will see Robin smiling from ear to ear because she is having the realization, in my opinion, that Gizelle has found a new storyline, and Robin is thinking, oh Lord, this is about to be a mess. Okay, this is about to be a mess. All right. Now, go back and watch the scene. At the end of the scene, you'll see Robin smiling because in my mind, she's realizing, girl, I see what you're doing right here. Okay, I see what you're doing. So anyway, after the break, we get a scene of Karen talking to Ray. I talked to y'all about that. Mia and Gordon stop by a cafe and they talk about opening up a joint in DC. Okay. Now, now, in light of what's happening now with the joint and her and the stuff that's happening that she's alerted us to, it's kind of sad seeing this moment as she's talking about opening a new location. But nonetheless, Jacqueline, good old Jackie's back, okay? And they've been friends for 15 years and are virtually inseparable. Until now. So Mia equates Jacqueline, to being like, almost like Gordon's second wife. They just don't do it. Well, she says, not with G. I was like, what? So anyway, they catch up on her biopsy and she needs further testing, kind of like what we talked about before, that whole process. And, Jack, can I just call her Jackie? Every time I have to say Jacqueline, I don't mean to disrespect her, but Jacqueline is like, it's a lot of syllables when I'm talking a lot, okay? So for short, Miss Jacqueline, I'm going to just call you Jackie. And if you don't like it, you just have to let me know at some point. Send up a smoke signal and say, don't call me Jackie. But for right now, you're Jackie, okay? For right now, you're Jackie, all right? So anyway, Jack is disgusted, all right? Jack is disgusted with the way Mia was received. And Jackie wants to know, was Karen doing a CYA? And Mia's like, well, what is that? And they have to tell her, girl, it means cover your anus, okay? Cover it up. Anyway, so Mia says, yeah, I felt like I kind of noticed Karen straddling the fence. Apparently, Karen sent Mia a text while Mia's on the way to the event, inviting Mia to the event that she already is on the way to, okay? Also letting her know, hey, girl, the girls have been talking about you. And Mia's like, well, what? You've been over my house. We've been talking. We've been out all these umpteen times. And you ain't tell me, not name one of them times, that them girls been talking about me, but you tell me now? Because you know that they about to confront me? Oh, because y'all probably was talking about me before I got there, okay? So now you want me to know they coming for you, girl. I mean, but in my mind, I'm kind of like, well, I mean, I mean, you just should be lucky for a heads up, in these days. So anyway, so we can already see, I feel like, some tension brewing between Mia and Karen. Okay. We learned that Mia did receive Gizelle's apology text, but left her on red because she is not doing Gizelle at this point in time. It's probably smart because Mia, as short as the day is long, and today is October 17th, 2022, my general consensus is that in October of 2023, the storyline from Gizelle, I don't know, but my general guess is that Gordon will be on the menu next year, now that Chris has been passed the baton this year and Eddie had it last year. Okay. So go ahead and get yourself ready. Okay. Because that's likely going to be the next play. Anyway, Ashley meets with Candiace to talk to her about Chris one-on-one, because Ashley is a changed woman these days. They recap the Grammys, and Aunt Candiace is preparing for the deluxe of her new album, and Ashley basically dives right in and tells her, "Girl, your man texted me at 2:40 in the morning. I don't want you to see that message and think something crazy was going on." And Candiace is looking at her like, "Okay, girl, he is trying to get people to come to his bar and come to the lounge so they can support the business, so he can grow the business. I mean, what is it?" And Candiace says, in her confessional, she says, "I'm gonna give her one benefit of the doubt token, especially because Chris is trying to rebrand the establishment he's working at." But Candiace does say she would want to know if her man was creeping and a crawling, okay, especially since Candiace told Ashley that her man was allegedly creeping and a crawling. Okay. So it's the day of dancing your heels, okay? And Ashley feels good about clearing the air with Candiace. Karen, we learn, has a 102 fever. Okay. She's allergic to Charisse. And so she's not gonna be there. All right. And they all wonder, why is Karen avoiding Charisse? And apparently Karen has not responded to Charisse's messages. And Gizelle says, of course, Gizelle knows the tea, that Charisse has tea on Karen, and Karen doesn't want to be around Charisse for fear that Charisse will reveal said tea. Okay. Charisse got Shasha got all the tea. She got a bank load of tea. If she got that much tea, she should be a main cast member. Okay. Meanwhile, and that's no shade to Shasha, because Miss Shasha, Shasha is born on the same day as I, but not the same year, I don't believe. But we are born on the same day, which means we both cancers. You know what I'm saying? So we emotional people. You know what I'm saying? So cheers to you, Cha-Cha. Anyway, Ashley can't be bothered with no low vibrational drinks. Okay, so she's not drinking no alcohol today either. Robin then produces the scene. Hey, so do y'all have something to talk about? So Ashley feels like Gizelle was coming at her crazy about the living situation with Michael. Gizelle is like, "I don't play with divorce. I've been through it. I don't play with divorce. I will just play with cancer." Okay, that's all I'll play with. But I won't play with divorce, at least not mine. I'll play with somebody else's, but I won't play with yours, Ashley. Well, actually, I just don't play with divorce today. Okay, how about that? Today's the day I don't play with divorce. Because I'll gossip about somebody's divorce, but I'm not gonna play. Okay, I'm not gonna play. Woo. Anyway, they get into a back and forth, and we finally figure out, here's the thing. Ashley needs Michael's support to pay for this house because the house is too expensive. Okay. And so that's why they going in on the LLC, so he can help her with the bills for the house that's, that's popping. Okay. Ashley can't just stay anywhere. She got to stay. She got to stay in a McMansion. Okay. And so that man gonna help her live the life that she needs to live. And I think that that's admirable. Girl, get your money. Okay. And that's what it is. Okay. And that's for to Cha-Cha. I mean, that well, this makes sense. Absolutely. Okay. Um, that's the case. Ashley at one point it says, well, Michael hasn't cheated on me and he don't have no outside children, so why shouldn't we be cool? And Gizelle is like, he hasn't cheated on you. And Ashley was like, well, lately, I mean, not today. All right. Not last week. Things have been fine. Okay. Fine. Meanwhile, as the girls begin to do their booty popping dance, okay, I noticed my friend Riley. She has a show coming up. She's a Beyonce impersonator. She has a show coming up at the city winery, and so the dancer that was teaching them the stiletto dances is one of Riley's dancers who will be dancing for Riley at her show at the city winery in DC. So shout out to Miss Mama for getting to work, okay? Because she does put in work and she's bomb at what she does. So they go and everybody pops and drops. Wendy arrives. She has. I mean, we didn't even see her this episode because she had to commentate at all the places. Mia has sauntered in, and everybody's on the floor moving. Even Gizelle got a little move. I understand why the married men are looking at her the way she was popping it on the floor. I said, yes, girl, you better get it. Do I have any dollars on me or something like that? I got a euro or something like that in my pocket from the Greece. We could throw up some euros or something to make it rain. Just let me throw some bills at you. Okay. So at the end of all that, and what was Robin doing? Okay, Robin, I'm gonna need you to. I would have assumed that Robin would have been a lot more limber than that. I mean, that girl has managed to stretch out this engagement storyline for the past 7 seasons. I am shocked that she wasn't a bit more limber and a bit more able to, dirty wine it like I wanted her to. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, Robin is stepping her game up in the storyline department and standing on her own. So I'm gonna give her snaps for being the realistic party in this situation. Okay. Dehende says, it's been a while since I caught you live, Richie. So excited. Gizelle tried to destroy a marriage every year. So sick of her no storyline having self. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dehende. All right. So at this point in time, Mia, Cha-Cha, and Ashley and Wendy head into another room, and that's actually when we learn about Ashley not putting out a divorce statement until she get that loan signatures and things on the house. Okay, then she'll announce it. Ashley, you playing that smart game, girl. I see you. I ain't mad at you. Mama didn't raise no fool. So then Gizelle, okay, needs to talk to Candiace alone. All right, and she wants to tell Candiace, girl, your husband is making the people feel uncomfortable, the people being me. And if he is, then you need to do something about it so he don't continue ravaging the lands and making all this other girls feel uncomfortable. All right. So she tells Candiace about the reunion situation, how it made her feel uncomfortable, how he wanted to talk alone in her room. And then she realized her glam was gone and he didn't do or say anything. And Candiace is like, okay, well, what are we talking about here? So then apparently Gizelle finds out from Cal, her hairstylist, that he didn't like all of this because Chris knew that the glam was gone because Chris said goodbye to Cal allegedly before he left and it was late. So Candiace is like, oh, so this is a thing. So we're attacking Chris. So she's like, Chris thinks of you as all like sisters, but you would say this man, and this man would be there for you, and he made you feel uncomfortable. And Gizelle is like, 100%. Candiace then looks at the camera. Like, it was crazy. Like, not crazy, but it was like wild. Because she looks at the camera. She's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? She literally gets up, she grabs her things. Eric, where is Eric? Okay. And in case you didn't know who Eric is, I'm assuming that's Eric Fuller, the producer. So she finds Eric and she says, if this is what it's going to be about, maligning my husband, we're not doing that. Michael Darby is available for that. See, that's the only part of this that I didn't necessarily like, because while I understand it, I also feel like you should never believe that your husband is off limits because another person's husband has been the subject of conversation. Because I understand why she said it, but my belief is that Michael does not want to be featured on this show anymore because of the past that he's had with it. So I think for Candiace, she's like, he's not around, so now y'all gonna make my husband the thing. But here's the issue. The issue isn't about your husband, Candiace. The issue is about Gizelle. And this being a pattern of behavior that occurs year after year. Because if she felt so uncomfortable, then she should have told you sooner. Because that is what a real friend does. They would not wait to make this a story. They would have handled it then. All right? Mickey says, so glad Candiace stood up for her husband and didn't take Gizelle's BS. She's trying to create a narrative that didn't exist. Do I blame Candiace for getting up and rolling out? Absolutely not. I think that she did the right thing. You know what? I'm not doing this today. But we get a reaction shot from Ashley, and then we hear Candiace say, the man that actually makes people feel uncomfortable, he's available for that, not my husband. And again, my only statement is this. We all tried to tell Candiace before that, especially after we saw it happen to Eddie, that Chris was likely going to be on the menu next. So while this storyline is intense and it's crazy, it lacks the element of surprise. And in my opinion, Candiace should not be surprised that this is occurring. Being a Lifestyle says, I don't think Candiace said anything wrong. We saw what Michael did on camera, so she's not wrong. I don't think it's about her being wrong, but I just don't even think it was necessary. Your issue is not with Michael. Your issue is that it is your husband and it is Gizelle. That is your issue. So you can't be okay. You got to deal with the person that is making this an issue. That's my statement. So deal with Gizelle. Michael, it has been problematic enough on his own. And the stuff that we have heard, we've seen receipts about, right? But the stuff that is going on with your husband, there's not even any proof. There's her word and his. And her word is coming after months where she could have told you. So again, my issue is I'm not saying that Michael is not problematic. I'm not saying focus that energy on the person that you have the issue with. That's my thing. Stay on topic. Your topic is your friend in there saying that your husband is a sneaky link and made you feel uncomfortable, because that is the real issue that you have. Michael should be the furthest thing from your mind. And that woman and what she said about him being a sneaky link is the only thing that you should be going after.